It's showtime, folks. Welcome in, Chase and Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game here on this Tuesday. A little bit later than normal as we're, switching some stuff around for the next couple days on until 3 o'clock today. And then it's Jake Lyman and D Mace. He is Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. JoJo with his crusty shirt on today, feeling good.
Feeling great, brother. Good to see you again.
Yeah,
man.
good to see you. Yeah, glad you
in person
in
too.
person.
Right?
I know, right? Yeah,
Crazy how we do this.
Yeah, I don't know. It is nuts, but we'll be back in our normal sort of slot tomorrow, 9 to noon, the extra hour. But just have a little fun this week. But excited about our show today. You're going to give the question out here in just a second, which have been very excited about.
I am really excited.
But we have a really cool guest coming up at 12:30. Michael T. Williamson, who played Bubba in the movie Forrest Gump. He's been in a lot of other things too, but
Yes,
that's obviously maybe his most famous role that he was a part of. But
unlike me saying, "Hey, we got Bubba Gump," you're like, "Yeah, that's really wasn't his name." In
Bubba
the movie?
Blue.
Yeah, right.
Bubba Blue.
So he's in a movie called The Last Rodeo, and so we decided to talk to him at 12:30. I mean, he's been in some. I mean, he was the guy in Con Air that Nicolas Cage took care of that was sick on the plane. I think he was
Was he really?
Had a diabetic coma. What was going on? Yeah, he was in Con Air. He's in one of my all-time favorite movies, Heat. He was a good guy in the movie Heat. So
he was on 4 episodes of the show Nashville.
Was he?
Yeah.
That's always a local connection, man.
Yep.
And then his greatest role of all time on the greatest TV show of all time, Miami Vice.
Of course.
So this will be fun.
Vice.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, we look for he was in Baby O Odell in Con Air.
Wow. He's the one that Nick Cage took care of, man.
He was in 12 Angry Men. Heat, yeah. Free Willy 2 was in that one. Wow. Willy.
We just left Willie.
Willie just left us. Yeah. So yeah, very, very, very cool. Hill Street Blues. All right, I'll stop. So he'll join us. Jim Wyatt, who's also famous, will join us at 1:30 today, and we'll kind of get his thoughts on rookie camp and the first observations of Cam Ward and all of that. The NFL schedule release still tomorrow, but now they've released the international games, and I find it funny that some Titans fans are like irritated that the Titans didn't get an international game. I don't want that this year.
No, they don't deserve an international game. And for those yelping about the Jags having a European or international game,
they do it every year.
Their owner owns. Does he own that Tottenham Spurs or
Who does he own?
Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah. Shad Khan owns them.
Yeah, I believe so.
Doesn't he own Wembley Stadium?
Yeah, he has a portion of finance into that.
Well, Tottenham has their own stadium.
Right. They do have their own stadium, but he's talking about Wembley Stadium as well.
Wembley. I'm sorry.
He was a part of the renovation process for that as well.
Okay.
I believe so.
So there's a vested interest because their owner has a vested interest.
Because everybody thought he was going to move the Jags to London, which I think for a while he was, but now it looks like he's got a stadium deal in Jacksonville to stay there.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, so that's why Jags fall, but the Vikings get in
twice. Yeah, so they're going to play the Steelers in Dublin on September 28th, which will be cool. The first ever regular season game in Dublin. They do the college game every year, but I think that'll be cool. The Vikings will also play the Browns at the aforementioned Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on October 5th. So they'll just stay in Europe basically for a couple weeks and play those games. The Broncos will take on the Jets at Tottenham Hotspur on October 12th. The Rams will battle the Jags at Wembley on October 19th. The Falcons and Colts will play November 9th in Berlin, Germany. And then the Commanders and Dolphins will play in Madrid, Spain on November 16th. And then there's
a Brazil
game too.
The Chargers are playing a team that has not been named yet.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, and that's the day after the opener, right? Isn't that Friday?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me started. Stay away from Friday night.
I know.
Stay away from Friday night.
Also have, I guess, a few games that have been released for Monday Night Football, including Week 10, Monday, November 10th. The Eagles will take on the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau.
Okay, good. I mean, it's supposed to be revealed tomorrow night at 6.
And then we also have the Black Friday game, which is the Bears and the Eagles on Friday, November 28th.
And that was that streaming game on Amazon, I think it was last year.
Yep.
One of those. All right, well, good.
Yep. And then the Eagles and Commanders on Fox on Saturday, December 20th.
There we have it. And then we'll have, it'll all be, tomorrow night's the official, but they'll all
Yeah, but you
start
know, they
trickling
all,
out.
yeah. I mean, like the primetime schedules and stuff like that.
I remember the Titans will do their thing. It's embargoed to 6. Don't get it out there. Like, oh, we won't. And then people start leaking the schedule out. So you'll know. We'll probably have some during the show today. What's going on?
Probably. I mean, I've seen some rumors.
I have.
Seems some.
What about some groomers? Isn't he around? We'll be at the Cats game next week. Maybe.
I thought you meant like, you know,
No.
groomers. Like,
Yeah, I thought you meant like vet groomers.
I thought you thought I meant some other kind of groomer.
No,
we are apolitical on this show.
I did not.
We don't care. All right.
Wait, what?
So Bronco. No, we're moving on. So Broncos Chiefs on Prime on Christmas.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
because I think there's going to be 3 Christmas Day games, just like Thanksgiving.
Oh, very confusing.
Netflix will get 2, and then there'll be a game that night. So.
Somebody today, you talk about Netflix. I should have screenshot it. I did not do it. About if you have all the streaming services to watch football, it'll cost you $1,600 this year.
Yeah, I believe it.
For everything. Amazon, YouTube, on and on and on.
Well, and ESPN's rolling out this whole new app. So
are they?
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about
We'll talk about
All right.
it, man.
Give us our question of the day.
All right. So I tweeted out earlier that the movie Rocky is going to be based on our question of the day. And this is something that I've had this argument, not a discussion. This has been turned into an argument throughout the years. So we love our listeners. You guys have great insight. We take what you have to say to heart. So on our text line, you can call us 615-737-1025. Sponsored by
Possibly you. WilsonCountyHonda.com. I thought you meant the question of the day.
No,
Sorry.
and that too as well. Our question
Everything is for sale, okay?
right. Our question's about the movie Rocky. Very simple. Is it a sports movie or is it a love story? Rocky. Is it a sports movie or is it a love story? I have very strong thoughts on my opinion about that, but I need to hear from you guys. Rocky, sports movie, love story. Dr. Crane, I hope you've seen Rocky.
No, Joe, I have not seen Rocky.
Have you not?
Really?
I have.
Okay.
I've seen all of them.
Okay, good.
All right.
I mean,
Is the Pope Catholic? Come on, man.
I mean, as a good, from a good Italian family, I would hope that you've seen Rocky Balboa.
listen, we've watched Rocky on Thanksgiving along with The Godfather and Goodfellas, and then go ahead, Joe. You have something.
So let me ask. So what do you think? Love story or sports movie?
I have a feeling you're going to say it's a love story, but I'd say it's a romantic sports movie.
You can't do both.
Well, that's
why can't you?
I'm
They're
just giving
Mr. Middle of the Fence. That's not the question.
I'm giving you the political answer. It's a romantic sports movie.
I think it's and there are 2 people that have already waited on our text line saying it's both.
I need one side or the other.
That is the answer. It is both.
If you had to clarify one or the other, what's the one? I absolutely think it's a love story built around boxing. It is first and foremost a love story. Watch the movie again.
A love of what?
He loves her.
Right.
It's about impressing her.
But he loves boxing too.
He does. But
so that I'll give you that you can say, but because I think that's the whole point is like he has this. I mean, number one, it's just a feel good story of never giving up and all those things.
True. But I just think it's a great, when you watch it again, watch it through the eyes of a love story.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, it makes the movie even better than what it was and what it is.
Austin says Rocky is both. Michael and Madison, why can't it be both? Joey from Bellevue, sports movie 100%. There's one. Dylan, love story. Rocky's love with Adrian, flowers throughout the movie. Also, Rocky's love for the sport of boxing is amplified throughout the movie.
Yes.
Fair.
Yep.
Mike and Lebanon, sports movie with love. Nevada Josh, if I ask my wife to watch a love movie and put on Rocky, she would be like, WTF, and make me put on The Notebook. So it's definitely a sports movie. Chris says, Joe, sports and motivation.
Okay. That's great. Keep them coming.
Marlon from Murfreesboro. It's a love story where sports are tied in, which is what you say.
Yes.
Austin says you could call it a sports movie with it showing how he rose from the bottom and gets to the top.
Absolutely, you can. You can. But you take away the Adrian part of this movie, it's just another guy trying to get his dream. It adds a certain something to that movie that you put in your heart, man. That
it was on. So I walked in the Buzz studio yesterday. Dagwood was in there, and it was on AMC, and it was the scene where I think it was early in the movie where she's like standing at the bottom of the steps, and he's like going into the apartment. You know, those damn turtles are supposedly still alive.
Are they really?
Like I saw this post recently that they're like 40-something years old.
They live to be 1,000 or something like that. But no, I think that ties in. You had no idea. You had no idea what the question.
Sylvester Stallone has still has the turtles.
I love it. Yeah, he wrote that movie, and they offered him like a couple $100,000 not to be in it, and he said nope. And that's where I get the whole thing about if you're going to fail doing that. He's like, I'm going to be. I wrote it. I'm going to be in this movie, whether you like it or not. And they got in the movie.
Well, who did they want in it?
Mid-70s. Who knows? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know, Dustin Hoffman. I
mean, the thing is, like, there's so many movies where you've heard story, like Indiana Jones, for instance, was supposed to be
Tom
Selleck, but Belisario wouldn't let him do it because of Magnum.
Yep.
And so they go Harrison Ford. I can't picture Tom Selleck being Indiana Jones. No. That's because Harrison Ford did such a great job,
right,
as Indiana Jones. But like, there's so many stories about that of other people, that were supposed to get role.
Back to the Future was Eric Stoltz was Michael J. Fox. They filmed like half the movie, and they're like, "No, this ain't working." I mean, Robert De Niro was in Big. Yep. He was Tom Hanks' character in Big.
Yep.
So I don't know who they wanted. Stallone got to do it, but it's one of those things you mentioned that movie, like, oh yeah. But you look at it through the eyes of a love story, you'll have a greater and deeper appreciation of the movie Rocky.
It says online, Burt Reynolds, James Caan, and Ryan O'Neal were the top 3 options for Rocky.
God, okay. Burt Reynolds? No.
Say it again. Burt Reynolds,
James Caan, and Ryan O'Neal.
James Caan, I could maybe see.
He was riding. James Caan was coming off the one Godfather movie.
Everybody say, yeah, Godfather.
He went in Godfather too. Yeah. And then Brian Songs. That's a good one. Burt Reynolds had just done Deliverance.
Ryan O'Neal, I don't see. I had to look him up. I mean, I know who he is now, but I had to look
John McEnroe's ex-father-in-law.
Yeah. Well, he's no longer with us either. Yeah.
So keep them coming. I'm just curious about the show today.
615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We're up and running on a Tuesday, a little bit later than normal. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe 1025 1063 the game. I hit the button a little too soon there. Sorry.
It happens. It's all right, man.
That's funny.
Gotta get
Is this from Rocky?
It is.
Nice. I haven't watched that in so long. I need to rewatch it. It's very nice.
Through the eyes of a love story, Chaser.
Our question of the day is Rocky a sports movie or a love story? And the response is tremendous on this. 615-737-1025. 6806. It's both. A question like this that's totally black and white is dividing this country, Joe.
Make a stand. It's okay to make a stand one side or the other. Love story wrapped around boxing, boxing wrapped around a love story. But what is the one kind of central theme of this? And I think it's a love story when you watch it this way.
5724 says, come on, sports movie. 10 minutes of love, the rest was sports.
Crazy.
It's based on a Muhammad Ali fight? I don't think so. Is it?
I don't think so, but
Wes and Hermitage says, I just fired myself. I've never seen that movie. I've shown myself the door. I'm a disgrace.
Come on, Wes, baby. We love
Wes,
you, man.
Come on. Hey, Wes, it's streaming. I'm sure you can find it.
Right.
It's a great movie. 1382 says it would depend on which Rocky movie we're watching. The first one. Rocky.
One. Yes. Which is Rocky. Anything else is titled Rocky Balboa, Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4, or on and on and on. Or Creed.
Do you remember that Simpsons episode where they're trying to teach Bart Roman numerals? And he's like, I'll never use this.
Yeah, right. I do remember.
And he gets trapped in like a lion's den, or like the circus or whatever. And he's like, Roman numerals? They never even tried to teach us this at school.
Yes.
And then he goes, all right, let's see. Wait a minute. Rocky 1 plus Rocky. It's like, and he starts adding through Rocky, and he goes, Rocky 7, Adrian's Revenge. And like makes up
a
title.
Stallone wrote the screenplay for Rocky, and 3 days after watching a match between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner took place in Ohio in March of 75.
Oh, wow.
Wepner was TKO'd in the 15th round of the match by Ali, with very few expecting him to last as long as he did. Despite the match motivating Stallone to begin work on Rocky, he has denied Wepner provided any inspiration for the script. Well, I mean, it sounds like it's there because Rocky gets knocked out in TKO at the end of the first Rocky, and then he comes back. He says it was a combination of a bunch of who cares? It was still a good movie, man.
Justin says, if you want to break it down to its essence, I believe it's a love story. It's a movie about him and his character, and he's in love with Adrian and just happens to be a boxer.
Thank you.
Nevada Josh, it's a sports movie with a love story. I look at it as an inspirational movie. Chuck Wepner is the real life inspiration for Rocky, not Ali. That's from Matthew.
Well, it says Wepner fought Ali. Yeah.
Let's see. Pre-film student would have argued that Rocky is a sports movie. Present day me agrees with Joe. It's a love story.
Thank you. I'm telling you, man, this is a great debate about what it is. We all agree it's a great movie, but I'm telling you, when somebody told me to watch it through the eyes of a love story, I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
2883 says the robot makes it a sci-fi movie. Is that from Rocky 3? He has the robot.
I don't remember.
There is one where he has a robot, and I can't remember when they were like super rich.
That might have been Rocky 3.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's Rocky 3.
Super
That's
rich.
funny. Let's go back to the phones. Bob wants to weigh in on this. Bob, what's up?
Hey guys, y'all talking about the Rocky movies, and y'all talking about the turtles that are still alive?
That's
I
what.
don't know if you heard this story a couple of years ago. There was a family who they had a pet turtle, and all of a sudden one day it disappeared, and the kids grew up, moved out, and when the parents died, they had to go out and get rid of all the stuff in the house and everything, and they went to clean out the attic, and 30 years later they found the turtle in the attic. True story. You gotta look it up.
Still alive?
Still alive, just roaming around in the attic.
Jeez.
We did the same thing to my uncle, so I'm not. He might still be up there.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Wow,
that's amazing. But yeah, I don't know how old it is. There's a picture of Sylvester Stallone that's relatively recent, and he's still got the turtles.
That's awesome.
And they're bigger and everything, but like
that's very cool.
It's just nuts. That's so funny. Nevada Josh also says, if Rocky is a love story, then so is Die Hard. No, Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is 100% a Christmas movie. Well, that's a debate in December.
Don't give me that side eye, Dr. Crane. I see that over there.
I just looked through the glass and see two men agree that it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
You say no.
I say no, yes.
Yeah. John McClane saved Christmas.
And we'll have John McClane tomorrow at 9:30.
We will.
Okay.
We'll ask him how he saved Christmas.
Yep.
And said, yippee-ki-yay, mother.
Oh, yeah. With a scratcher.
Yeah. I mean, the ending of that movie is just so fantastic. He tapes the gun. I mean, it's so realistic, and takes out the one guy and shoots Hans, and Hans falls out the window and is hanging on by the watch.
And the first guy he shoots looks like Huey Lewis. And it's not. If you go back and watch it again, it's not.
He does look like Huey Lewis.
Looks like in there.
It has the guy from I think he just died recently, but the guy from Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah, Clarence Gilliard.
Yeah.
He's also, do you know what else that guy did? When Goose died in Top Gun, he was the replacement.
That's right. He sure was.
And he got mad at Maverick or whatever. And then that was, a long time ago.
It was. But they got over it.
They did. Became friends, and then he died.
It's kind of like us.
Yeah, I'm not dying.
No,
at least not today.
We got
one more to go.
615-737-1025. Oh, here we go. Evan, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Evan, come on. We'll do this debate in December.
Mike in Nolensville, Lethal Weapon is too.
Yeah.
Around Christmas?
All right. Yeah. You remember Gary Busey comes to the house and the thing's like, what day is it? And he shoots a TV. He's like, it's blanking Christmas. And then does all that. Yeah, that could be a good one.
Movie.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm
getting too old for this.
You know how old he was when he did that?
Like 40 something?
I think he's like 41, roughly right around there in that movie when he said that.
Yeah. Aren't they making another one?
They are. Richard Donner, the original director, died.
Right.
One of his wishes was Mel Gibson directed. So Mel Gibson's directing it. It might already be done because Mel Gibson now is working on Passion of the Christ, like part 2, like the resurrection or something. That's what he's doing.
Okay.
He was on the Joe Rogan podcast and talked about doing that stuff. But that's what they're going to do, Lethal Weapon. But back to Rocky, though. I mean, it's a great debate on a wonderful movie that we all agree is a great movie. But you take the Adrian storyline out of it, just another guy looking for a dream. It makes him human to us. This boxer, this rough around the edges boxer who's going for the dream, but at the same time, he's in love, man. And it's pure love. And it's so beautiful. That's why I think it's such a great love story.
You're starting to convince me. The people are starting to convince me. But coming up next, very excited about this. Michael T. Williamson, who was Bubba in Forrest Gump, has played a lot of other roles. He's got a new movie coming out that's a sports movie. He's going to join the show. We will talk to him coming up next here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Tuesday. And excited to talk to our next guest. He has appeared in episodes of Law & Order, Organized Crime, Con Air, and, of course, Forrest Gump. He's also got a new movie coming out called The Last Rodeo. We bring in Michael T. Williamson, the fine actor. Michael T., how you doing? Do we have him? Michael T.?
Hello. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's great to be with you.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here. And, you know, as we've kind of been talking about all your different roles, and we'll get into that, but tell us about The Last Rodeo. I know this is your latest project that you've been working on, and we're looking forward to seeing it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. The Last Rodeo is directed by John Avnet, and it's written by Neil McDonough, Derek Presley, and John Avnet. Neil McDonough is the first lead. It also stars Sarah Jones and our dear friend Chris McDonald. You know, so it's about a beat up, busted old bull rider. Salty, turned his back on a lot of his family and friends, and became a recluse. Then he finds out his grandson needs a brain surgery, and he's got to figure out how to raise that kind of money. So the only way to pull it off is to enter a rodeo at over 50 years of age and bust it up. So he has to suck up to his daughter and make his relationship right with her. And he goes on this journey with his friend that he turned his back on to try and win this one last rodeo. And it's a thrill ride. I mean, we've got cowboy fights, we've got chuckles, we've got humor, we touch and move people. I describe The Last Rodeo as like the most fun and amazing film that I've done, like Forrest Gump, since Forrest Gump.
Michael T. Williamson with us on the show today. That's a strong comparison there, Michael T. Why do these movies work? We were talking about Rocky earlier, how that's so iconic and works. Why does stories like this of redemption and faith and overcoming odds always resonate with us?
Because everybody's on a journey. Every single human being is on their life's journey, and they're trying to navigate their way through. And when you see someone else whose faith is challenged, they've made some mistakes, and you pull for them and want them to come out right. And like Forrest Gump, everybody wants to take care of Forrest and wanted Forrest to be okay. You're going to feel the same way about Joe when you see Neil McDonough, you know, navigating his way through all the crises that he has to face.
Actor Michael T. Williamson is with us. So you bring up Forrest Gump and Bubba, the character in which you played in that movie. When you initially read the script for it, I mean, what was it? Did the character that we all saw come to mind, or was it something that, you know, you kind of had to work towards to finally get the finished product because it was so well done?
Well, two of my students, if you're speaking of Forrest Gump.
Yes.
Yeah, well, two of my students came in. They had an audition for this Bubba character, and I was trying to give them the interpretation that I saw, like down in my spirit about it, and they did not agree. They said, no. It's like the skipper and Gilligan, if you know Gilligan's Island. It's like the skipper takes Gilligan under his wing, and so Bubba's a big, strong guy who would take Forrest under his wing. And I said, yeah, but everybody's going to come in and do that. Why don't you try this? And they said, no, I'm not comfortable with that. So I said, okay. So they both went in, did not get a call back. So I called my agent, and I called my students and said, I'd like to go in on this thing, man. You guys good with that? They said, yeah. So I went in on a Saturday and read for a casting assistant. She put me on tape and sent it to Bob Zemeckis, and Robert Zemeckis connected me with Tom Hanks and put us in the room together. And it was magic when we got in that room together. It was on.
You know, when you read that script, Michael T., and you read the script for The Last Rodeo, I mean, and you pick out what you're doing, what immediately hits you about the Forrest Gump part and about The Last Rodeo when you're reading the script that you so wanted to be a part of this movie? Both movies, but especially The Last Rodeo.
Well, with The Last Rodeo, is written by one of my dearest friends in Hollywood. He's just Neil McDonough is a beautiful human being. He's a man of principle. He's a family guy, just like me. And I know his values firsthand and what kind of movie he wanted to make for America. It's the same kind of movie we've always wanted to make. Movies like Gump, movies like The Last Rodeo. And so just because my friend was doing it and received it in a vision, he told me about his vision before anything was even written. And I said, man, I would love to roll with you. So he said, you got to come with me. I said, I would love to roll with you. And here we are some years later. And John Avnet came on. And oh my gosh, man, when you get a combination like that, like a director like a Robert Zemeckis or John Avnet, you know you're going to make another Fried Green Tomatoes or Forrest Gump or whatever it is, because they're legendary.
Well, that's strong. We had Gary Sinise on last year, Michael T, talking about the movie, and I think Chase asked him, said, when you're making the movie, any idea you were making magic? Did you know you were making magic with Forrest Gump? Because it took off like nothing I'd ever seen before at that time.
Well, yeah, I remember telling my assistant at the time, and he thought it was funny. I told him how well the movie would be received if we just could get the movie. If the movie would be released, we knew we would move audiences. And the only surprising part with Forrest Gump for me was that it translated into every language around the world. It's I saw Gump screen around the world in other countries, and the laughter was in the same place. The tears came in the same place. It's just it's magical. It's absolutely magical. And we knew we had something special when we first started making Gump.
All right. So the famous part of you reciting the different types of shrimp that there are through the different cut scenes, was that all written, or was some of that improv? Because I think it was over 20 different types of way to prepare shrimp that you ended up talking about, and it's obviously one of the best parts of the movie.
Well, it was all improv. There were like about 4 or 5 different types of shrimp in the movie, but I just the director gave me the freedom to just turn the cat into a shrimping fool, man. And I had a feeling it would work, and it did. But that's you work with people like John Avnet and Robert Zemeckis, and they give you the freedom to play. They trust you, you trust them, and you get an opportunity to make magic.
Was that why you like being with Neil McDonough in this movie? Because you trust him, you know what he's about, you know what he's doing for this movie, The Last Rodeo?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that Neil came to me, of all the people that Neil knows, that Neil reached out to me, yes, we're like really close friends, like brothers. But I knew that he needed someone to have his back on this journey. And I have his back and his front, man. So it was very easy for me to sign up and say yes, because it's Neil McDonough. And it made it even more easy when John Avnet came on as our director.
Oh, just fantastic. I need to ask you this, though. So Forrest Gump comes out in 1994. At the time, you're making one of the greatest movies I think of all time in Heat. So you're doing Heat. Bubba Gump hits the everything. People go crazy. Were you balancing working with Al Pacino and Val Kilmer in Heat at the same time Forrest Gump was exploding on the theater?
Not exactly the same time. It's like one follows the other. But man, what a privilege and an honor to work with legendary people like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Michael Mann, Robert Zemeckis. It's like, man, you have to pinch yourself sometimes. You
right?
really do.
Yeah, and that movie, Heat, I'm telling you, Michael T., that is one of the greatest films of all time. In fact, I read all the time how police agencies across America use that bank robber scene, how to approach bank robbers, what not to do. The movie is just so much more than just a movie.
Yeah. It's when you have great leadership, like Michael Mann, for example, with Heat, then you follow the leader. And the thing that those guys have in common is they never forget that they're leading a volunteer army, and I think that's what has enhanced their ability to make successful, enjoyable films like this.
Well, Michael T., we're looking forward to The Last Rodeo when it comes out. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks for talking to us and going down memory lane with us.
Hey, man, thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation to be with you. All right?
All right. We will talk soon. Thank you.
You got it, buddy. Bye.
Michael T. Williamson, fine actor.
Called in early.
Yeah, that was cool. But and now we have had 2 members of the cast of Forrest Gump on the show.
We have.
I think we have to get Tom Hanks now.
Not Ginny. Because, we're talking about, is Ginny the worst villain in cinema history?
You have asked that before.
She's pretty bad. Nobody likes Ginny.
But I mean,
nobody likes Ginny.
It turns out okay.
No, it doesn't.
No? Because she dies?
Well, she dies, but she broke his heart many times.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Robin Wright.
Let's get a little twist to all this. Tom Hanks is an Aston Villa, I believe, supporter and also a part of their front office. They're coming here in August.
Well, I believe he's here quite a bit because his wife is a singer, right?
Right. What did you say? Who?
Aston Villa.
What's that?
They're a soccer team in England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're playing a friendly match against Nashville SC.
Well, we'll get them. See, you're the soccer guy. You work your magic.
I don't know Tom Hanks like that though.
But you know people.
Okay.
I don't know Michael
if
T. Williamson.
If you got Tom Hanks on the show, I would give you a big hug.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And maybe something out of the vending machine.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's a maybe.
Top shelf.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Good. The good stuff for you.
Yes.
375, baby.
Would you ride a bull?
Would I ride a bull?
Yeah.
No.
Would you?
Dude, I would.
Yeah.
I would die. Like you've seen me. I'm slow and fat. Like I would.
Would you sit on a bull in the cage for 10 seconds? I have done that.
Yeah, I do that.
And I was scared to death.
I would. I mean, the whole time be like, easy down, easy, big fella.
Name him Angus.
You could do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'd probably eat him.
I mean, probably tastes delicious.
How is Skillet today?
Great.
That's
He's
good.
great.
That's
Probably
good.
around 180, 175.
You got the countdown clock on him?
Yeah, I do.
God.
So,
All right.
What
Well
does riding
done.
a bull have to do with anything with Tom Hanks? That's all I'm just.
That's the show, baby.
Look,
All right.
you've listened to you've worked on this show for almost 2 years now. You know how this works.
Yeah.
We don't know where it's going to go.
Just
It's
curious.
it's a choose your own adventure game, basically, is what this is. 615-737-1025. We're live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Rocky 3, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Tuesday. Appreciate Michael T. Williamson for joining us. If you're new to our show, because we're in a different time slot, those are the things you get. We talk sports, but we talk pop culture,
We go everywhere.
hyper local things. But we're a little bit different. So
yes, we are. Hey, real quick, tomorrow night at Omni Nashville Hotel, it's their songwriter series called "If This Bar Could Talk," songs and stories from bar lines. If you've not been to bar lines at Omni Nashville Hotel downtown, it is free. It is beautiful. It's right there on John Lewis Way. It's perfect. The weather's great. The food is great, and the music's gonna be fantastic tomorrow night. It's a free show. Free. Music starts at 5 p.m. Songwriters Mary Lynn Bates, Dave Kane, White Edmondson, Wade Fitzgerald, Allie Gregory, Bill O'Hanlon, and Silence X Noise will be there tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. If This Bar Could Talk at the Omni Nashville Hotel, free show. Check them out tomorrow night at Bar Lines downtown.
Byron on our text line said, spoiler alert, I've never seen Forrest Gump. What is the statute of limitations on spoiling a movie for someone? I mean, over 30 years, I think, that's kind of a you problem at this point.
I think it's 30 days.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just made that up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like if a movie just comes out or like there's something that just happens, and be considerate.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it for a little bit. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, come on, man.
I was reading this.
31 years ago.
Yeah, 31. I was reading this earlier. They were making a Forrest Gump Part 2 into the 20th century or 21st century. And the guy they wanted to do it was Kevin Costner. But this was 20 years ago.
As
Forrest Gump getting older.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Who
I mean,
knows?
you could do it now.
Or maybe as Forrest's son growing up. I don't know. If we get the Kevin Costner that played Robin Hood, let's do it, because that's one of the worst acting roles of all time. Let's do that, but just leave things alone.
Okay. Remember the movie 13 Days?
Yeah.
That accent was pretty bad.
Awful. Awful. So you combine that with Robin Hood and it's terrible, but just leave it alone. I mean, Forrest Gump is good as it is.
Yeah. There's some movies that they need to be as they are. They don't need a sequel.
Yes. Remember we had the question, the greatest fictional football player of all time? Forrest Gump got sued.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he ran that kickoff back against Vanderbilt in the movie.
Was it?
I think it was Vanderbilt, if I recall correctly, which I usually don't. But yeah.
Well, now I got to look.
And it was Enos from Dukes of Hazzard. It was Bear Bryant. So look at that boy run. So I think
Hot dog. I think you're right.
mm-hmm.
Did Vandy wear white helmets at that time?
I thought it was, I don't remember. I thought it was white uniform and gold helmets, but I don't. It's been so long.
Well, here it's white. It's gold pants, white top, white helmet.
I think it is, at least in the movie version of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I figured it out, but it was.
Because of course it is.
Yeah.
let's just pick on Vanderbilt as much as we can.
Always a Nashville connection somehow, some way, whether you like it or not. So I don't know. Our question of the day, we got a lot of response on it, is Rocky love story or sports movie? You got to do one or the other. You could say love story wrapped inside a boxing match, or boxing match wrapped inside a love story. It is up to you to say that.
I love this, where they have the fans hold up the signs in the end zone that tell them to stop.
Yeah. Right down the middle of the field, man.
Yep. It was so good.
It is.
Let's see. Mike. Oh, hang on. I lost all my texts here. Nevada Josh finally says, let's just call it a romantic sports movie.
We can. You can, but that's not the question. Josh, come on.
Joe
buddy.
wants you to pick a side.
Yeah, besides, Josh, we'll see you in September when MTSU plays out there in Reno. Make sure you stop by and say hi.
There you go. Be good. And then also the Titans will be taking a trip to Vegas.
Ooh,
at some point.
That's right.
I wonder if that'll be a prime. So I think 2 primetime games.
But why? They don't deserve any.
Because the National Football League likes the first overall picks, usually. And I think the Vrabel thing is a storyline. So I think it's the Chiefs and the Patriots.
Okay.
I think those 2 games will be primetime games.
They'll start leaking out pretty soon, and we'll know what's going on with all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, like some have already been, some of the primetime games have already been put out there.
Yeah.
But
they don't deserve to be in a primetime. We looked up it earlier, right? Every team gets one. Did we figure that out?
No, I don't think that's true.
It used to be true. Every team got one primetime game. And then the max was 6. Because if you didn't have the max, you'd have the Cowboys and Patriots every week on TV.
Did the Cardinals play a primetime game last year?
Sure they did.
Probably think it was a
Carolina. I don't think Carolina did.
No, I thought Arizona played a Thursday night game.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
You might be right. I'm not saying
that, because the argument was back when the Jags and Titans were so bad in 15, 16, 17. Like, why are they on TV and the NFL guarantees you one primetime game and they got that crappy Thursday night game? That may have changed. We'll ask Jim Wyatt when he comes on at 1:30 if that's still the same. I don't know, but it used to be that way. But now they're flexing everything, which they didn't before. So if the Cowboys have been on 6 times, but you flex week 16 and it's the Cowboys, does that count or not count because they've already been on TV 6 times? I don't know.
Arizona week 7 against the Chargers last season.
All right, what about Carolina? I'm putting you on the
busy man.
I'm sure I can actually help with this too. I could just pull up.
Probably dump Carolina on some.
They did not have one in 2024.
There you go.
Okay. 2024.
Yeah, in 2024. Yeah.
He's looking at 2025 schedule.
No, this is 2024.
Okay.
I'm just reading what else it has on here. It says this is only the 3rd time in franchise history that they have not had a primetime game, the other 2 being in 2002 and 2011.
Okay. But my thing is Titans do not deserve a primetime game.
No.
If Panthers don't get one, they don't deserve any.
They deserve one.
They won 3 games last year or 4 games, whatever.
Right, but they have the number 1 overall pick.
I don't care. I'm going on.
It's a storyline.
I think they get flexed into a 3rd primetime game this year.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Ugh. All right, Mr. Wise Guy over here.
Yeah.
If you don't think they deserve a game,
no.
Do you want to see the same teams over and over again on Thursday, Monday, Sunday?
Outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
I understand that. Answer my question.
No one cares.
Okay,
about the Titans.
answer my question.
Yes.
Do you want to see the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Packers,
absolutely,
the Eagles,
keep going,
the Giants,
yep,
the Jets because they're New York, the Rams?
Don't mind at all.
Not the Chargers, probably.
No, I don't mind. Do I want to see the Titans Colts? No. Do people outside of Nashville want to see the Titans Colts? No,
probably not. But
they don't.
But it's the NFL. The NFL is making the schedule. They're preaching all this parity stuff.
If you're in the NFL, I got a great question for you.
Okay.
At 1:00, you're working in the NFL office, and you got to look at the Titans schedule, right? And you're in New York City, and you look at the Titans schedule. Show me the game where there's drama. Don't tell me now. Tell me when we come back.
Okay.
And you got to pick it out.
Okay. We'll do that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe on this Tuesday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Tuesday. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. A little bit later today, we'll be back in our normal spot tomorrow, 9 to noon. A 3-hour show is doing things a little different this week with Jared on vacation and everything back to normal on Friday when Jared returns.
He's upset the apple cart, man, which is good. Yeah,
sometimes it's good to change it up.
It is.
A little bit. All right, so what was your question you threw out to me?
So, all right, you talk about, we all know this. Outside of Nashville, Tennessee, nobody gives a rat's, about the Tennessee Titans. But you're in the league office. You got to come up with a schedule, right? And you got to give the Titans one primetime game. So remove yourself from Nashville, Chase. You're in New York City, and they come to you and say, hey, Mr. McCabe, young guy here, first day in the office, we need you to find a primetime game for the Titans. They got one. What would you pick? Now, remove yourself from Nashville, and I know it's hard to do that, but what game do you think this guy, primetime game, this guy would say, here's who the Titans going to play in primetime? It's very easy.
Week 6 on Monday Night Football, the Tennessee Titans will host the Kansas City Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes and Cam Ward have gotten so many comparisons through the whole draft process.
Okay, I like that.
Monday night game, Nissan Stadium, Mike Borgonzi against his former team. That nobody cares about that, but that would be probably the one.
Week 4, Thursday night game, the Tennessee Titans will host in his return to Nissan Stadium, Mike Vrabel. I say you play that game early.
I think both are fair.
Before the Patriots go 2-8 and the Titans are 0-10. I think the Patriots game, anytime the Chiefs is the perfect answer. That's the correct answer.
Yeah.
That's also the easy answer because everybody wants to watch Mahomes on a Monday night. But for people here and around the country, take Mahomes out of that, be like, oh, okay, Vrabel has returned to Nashville. See how it goes. And then you could make a whole week the comments he made when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame, the comments that were made when he left here, all that comes together. I think week 4 on a Thursday night.
So I'll give you another possibility that to me is basically we need a second game on a Monday night because we're going to do the doubleheader.
Mm-hmm.
We need a West Coast game on a Monday night. Week 12, the Tennessee Titans head to Denver to take on the Broncos, the upstart Denver Broncos.
Why that one?
I just said it. We need a second West Coast game on a Monday night because we got a doubleheader. But the Broncos are intriguing because they seem to be on the up. Bo Nix going into his second year. Looks like Sean Payton has something there with him. And then against the number 1 overall pick.
Do you want to see a 2-10 Titans team on a Monday Night Football game?
No, it'll probably get flexed out. But I'm just saying on the initial schedule, if you're trying to dig deep and reach for one, maybe you do that.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I think after the first 6 weeks, the teams that are really bad last year.
I set it at 1.5 on primetime games, but I have this hunch that people might be a little surprised.
Do you think they get 2?
I think they definitely get 2.
I think you need to be checked into some clinic.
I just think the number 1. How many did Chicago have last year? Do we know?
Off a ballpark number, I'd say 3 or 4.
Did they have the
Oh,
Thanksgiving?
All right, hang on.
What game did they?
You two talk. I'm going to look this up.
What game did they do? They didn't call the timeout. It was on national TV. The Bears. They didn't call a timeout. Like 40 seconds went off the clock.
That was a 3:25 game, I believe.
I thought it was like Thanksgiving game.
Did they play Thanksgiving
versus the Lions?
They did.
Remember
right.
the clock ticked down and
right.
he got fired. The coach got fired after that game.
Eberflus. I do recall
Eberflus.
Yeah, so they played at Detroit on Thanksgiving. They had a Monday night game. They had a Thursday night game, so that's at least 3. And then the Sundays, I'm not sure.
That's also the number 3 football market in the country, whereas the Titans are 28.
Okay.
I don't know why you're on this kick of getting. Do you work for the Titans?
No.
Are you selling PSLs we don't know about? Because you're promoting.
Hi, this is Chase from the Titans. I want to talk to you about some tickets. We got some great deals on the new PSLs.
Wait,
That's how that would go.
Same guy on the radio? What are you doing?
I
Oh,
needed
man.
to get a second job. Let's see. The Bears, were they on Sunday Night Football? They were not. So, but they still had 3. Oh no, they were on Sunday Night Football. So they were on week 2. So they had 4. They had 4 primetime games with the number 1 overall pick. Granted, third biggest market in the country.
Was that
okay? Who
Sunday
was
night game?
Bryce Young? Was the year before?
Correct.
Was 2023?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm telling you, Joe, I think they get 3 games. I think they get flexed into a
I
third
think you guys
game.
are crazy.
No.
We're not doing flex. We're talking about original schedule that comes out.
Original schedule,
They get 1, and it's versus the Patriots.
Okay, but they get 2, actually, in my opinion.
I'm keeping
All right.
fresh.
Carolina in Bryce's rookie year, they had at least 2. They had a Monday night game in week 2. That seems to be a theme, a primetime game in week 2 for the number 1 overall pick. So Carolina had a Monday night game in week 2. They had a Thursday night game in week 10. And then I'm not sure on the Sundays. I feel like they did have in the Sunday night football schedule.
There's no way.
In 2023, you say no way. No. I say that
he is correct.
You are a very nice man, and you are correct.
Yes. Yeah. Nobody's watching Carolina on Sunday Night Football. They're not stupid. It's the number 1 sport. It's the number 1 TV show in America on Sunday night. They're not going to waste your time by throwing the Panthers in there. And the Sunday night game, how about the Chiefs and the Bills to start the season off? Always something like that. Those 2 teams. But no, I think outside the bubble of Nashville, nobody cares. You get your 1 game and that's it. And I want it to be against the return of Vrabel to Nashville. Do they put,
I think that could certainly be it.
Let me ask you this. Do you play a video for Vrabel?
Probably.
You don't promote the other team, man. We had this argument before. You don't
He's
show
the
a video.
second winningest coach in franchise history.
He's come here to beat you.
Fine.
Look at you, Mike Vrabel Jr.
8492 says, if you look at the butts and seats, even Nashville doesn't care about the Titans.
You're correct.
You're not wrong. 615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. Benjamin says, I say the Patriots game, lots of talking points. Dylan says, Joe's right on this one, the Vrabel revenge game. I've been saying that.
No,
too.
I'd love to see Mahomes. We saw him when they came here in 2019.
I've said both. I've said they get at least 2, Chiefs and Patriots.
But are you going to waste a Chiefs primetime game on Nashville, on the Titans? I'm not.
Yeah, because he's probably going to win, and the crew gets a chance to come to Nashville.
I'd rather see primetime Chiefs versus Denver or the Raiders or anything in the AFC West.
Well, the Chiefs are going to get 6.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
so
one of those shouldn't be wasted on the Titans.
Okay, well.
I just don't think so.
Let's hang on. Hold just a moment. So the Chiefs will play so week 17, we know they got Denver at home. So that's 1 because that's the prime game. It doesn't show me their opponents.
Well, AFC South.
Yeah, and they're here we go. Chiefs opponents at home, they got Denver, Raiders, Chargers, as we know, Ravens, Lions, Texans, Colts, Eagles, Commanders. Then they're at the division, at the Bills, at the Cowboys, at the Jags, at the Giants, at the Titans.
Well, there's your Sunday night opening game, Chiefs at Cowboys.
No, because the Cowboys opening game is against the Eagles.
Damn it. All right. Lions in Detroit.
Could see that. I could totally see that.
I mean, you got the marquee matchup. Go right out of the gate with that.
Yeah.
That might be a Monday night game. Sunday night is the Cowboys and
no. Thursday night is Cowboys Eagles. Sunday night I could see the Chiefs.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Chiefs Lions.
Yeah, I could that.
I mean, they opened 2 years ago on Thursday night. Lions beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, because the Super Bowl champion always gets that.
You are correct. Yeah.
That Thursday. 615-737-1025. When do you think, how many primetime games do you think the Titans get? People can weigh in on that.
It's one.
You say one.
Chase McCabe, PR for the Titans, thinks they should get 9.
Devin from Dover says Joe is really high on the Titans this year. Huh? Are you being sarcastic or did you mean me? Because I'm the one saying they're going to get more.
You are. No, I just don't think,
I'm asking Devin.
Oh.
About his text.
I just think that you have to go on the what they did last year, also of what they've added to the team. Yeah, they get the number 1 pick, but still, I mean, it's you're a bad football team right now.
And to that point, Donovan and Franklin says, I can already see the Titans fans complaining when they only get one primetime game. Like, who cares? Let's start winning.
I mean, I wonder, do you think you deserve more? Am I missing the point here?
No.
No. I mean, I wouldn't give them 1. Win. Start making an impact. Then you get more games.
I don't know. I can't answer all these things. Too many questions. Way too many questions.
That's right. You're the nerve center of this show.
No, I'm just unnerved right now. Coming up next, Adam Kaplan, longtime NFL insider, was on Robbie and Rexter this morning. Had some really interesting comments on the Titans, including the patience level of owner Amy Adams Strunk in this rebuild. He said some things that kind of caught my attention. We'll discuss those coming up next. And also the 615 Open Charity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor. It's presented by Gary Force Acura and Atmos Energy. It's at Hermitage Golf Course on Thursday, May 29th. I know we got a really good turnout so far. Sign up to play or sponsor at 615open.com. Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel here on this Tuesday. Tune in tonight as the Nashville Sounds are in Memphis to take on the Redbirds. Pregame at 6:30, first pitch at 6:45. You can listen on the Game Nashville app. Sounds Baseball is presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure.
Man, I was going down that for the Ozone Park as a Redbird singing on the sounds. All right, I just gotta get Mammals. Gotta get it out of me. That's it. That's all I need. I'm
It's
good.
your trigger word.
It is.
615-737-1025. Viking Matt says the Titans will get one primetime game. Look, you may be right. Austin says they will get 3. Cam Ward hype. Could be that.
Hold up. Viking Matt, text back in. Are you going over to Europe for 2 weeks to watch your Vikings play? We need to know.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool. Ron says if Sanders is the starter, maybe that might be a primetime game. Cam versus Sanders later in the season. That'd have to be a flex option.
Have to be because they're not
In
doing
Cleveland.
it right now. They're not putting it out there.
And after rookie camp, I don't know about that, but with Sanders. Now, our good friend Ricky says, do they still do the doubleheader of Monday Night Football to open the season? They do like 5 of them throughout the year. I don't know if it's always week 1. But he says Titans at Raiders, the West Coast game right off the rip. You liked that.
I do because it's an easy win for the Raiders. There's a lot of hype. It's a Monday Night Football. They want hype in Vegas. I think that's a really good one. That might be number 2 now on my little list of.
Yeah, so that could be a possibility. I feel like week 2 is when Cam Ward would be put in prime time. You do a noon kick either on the road or at home, week 1, make it easy, and then you do a primetime game in week 2. There's a pattern there with what the NFL's done.
So week 1 on the road, then week 2 at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the first 2 at home. I mean, there's no rule that says you can't do that.
True.
Let's go to the phones. Eric wants to weigh in on the schedule talk. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys, I think the most that the Titans will get is probably 2 games. Here's my feeling. I would be shocked if they're on Sunday Night Football. I think it's going to be a Monday night game or maybe a Thursday night game. They generally have not put the Titans on Sunday Night Football, and generally if they have, it's the most it's been is like about 1 game. And as far as the Bears, you were talking about the Bears last year, I think they had several primetime games. I know they were on week 2 against Houston. If I'm not mistaken, they played the Packers on Sunday Night Football. I believe they did play also Minnesota on Monday Night Football. They played at Detroit, you're right, Turkey Day. And I think they did have one other game that was flexed in for Sunday Night Football. I can't remember if that was the Washington game, which they lost on the Hail Mary, or was Atlanta, but I do also remember they had a Sunday night game flexed in. So they were on quite a few times. A lot of people said a lot of times it doesn't matter the record. It's just because they're a big market team, as well as with the Giants and the Jets. Even though these teams may not be good, a lot of times those 2 teams, even though they haven't been good, will get a lot of primetime games, either Monday or Sunday night games. So we'll see what happens. But those are my thoughts, guys. Y'all take care. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Eric.
Love
Appreciate it.
Eric.
Yeah, good call.
Love it. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I just kind of have this weird feeling like it's going to be more than we think because of Cam Ward.
Well, I keep refreshing to see if the Unathletics NFL Insider's got anything on schedule release. He's got nothing yet. So I was hoping someone would pop out during the show today, but nothing. I did read Ricky Merritt's report earlier that said the Titans are confirmed to play 17 games. I saw that.
Yeah,
and so
that was hard hitting.
And Z to A tried to steal that. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey guys, give it credit because the Unathletic had that first, so don't do it.
Adam in Portland wants to win. Hello, Adam.
Hey, Joe, whenever you do the Memphis thing, it's like when Jared says punch and Judy or right tackle. So I don't know. It gives me the same sick feeling in my stomach. I support you. I just hate that. All right. So as far as the schedule, I fully agree with you that the Titans suck, but there's only like 6 good teams. Nobody's good anymore. Who are you going to put in there? People have to go to these games. So, give the Titans a few of them, man. Like if you were saying, Dallas is going to get Dallas sucks. I think the Titans would give Dallas a game. So, and we can't compare ourselves to Chicago because Chicago was supposed to have a dope offense last year. So I don't know, dude. Like I don't know, but there's nobody's good. So
Let me ask you this. Do you care if Arizona plays the Seahawks on a Monday night?
No, I don't care.
No,
like
Arizona is
I'm trying to picture
I'm trying to picture the game, but like it's Kyler, it's Sam Darnold. Like that would be a cool game. Like right now, you got to ask me like 2 or 3 weeks into the season because right now I'd watch anything.
Well, I think
Like, once we get into
Arizona.
the season is different.
Arizona's equivalent, I think, of the Titans on the national landscape, that people just don't care about Arizona. They're not getting you to tune in. That nobody's getting the Titans to tune in across the country.
Well, okay, Adam, let me ask you this, because you're just a football fan in general too, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if there is a Sunday night, Monday night game on, are you usually watching it no matter who it is?
Yes.
There you go. But that's the majority.
A Sunday night.
Guaranteed. Well, all right. So Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. When they started with this Friday crap, dude, I know you guys have already covered it. I refuse to do that. I'm hoping they take that off because that's for the high school kids. But even when it starts to pour into NFL into Saturdays, dude, I can't get enough of it. So I don't, just like I said, look through. I challenge you both to look through the league right now. Nobody is that good anymore. There's only a few good teams. That's it.
Last year chasing that thing like you get 5 teams or the rest of the league win the Super Bowl, and we both had Eagles as the 5 teams to do that. No, you were right, but I'm telling on a Monday night, you're not watching Arizona and the Rams. You're not doing it. Like the country's not watching Titans Colts.
Joe, you're wrong. Yeah, I think Adam's watching it. Adam, thanks for the call, man. No, look, you're wrong.
Nope.
I think you're wrong on this because I am one of those people too. I realized it more and more, in the last few years. If there is a primetime NFL game on, it's on my TV. Now, how much I'm paying attention to it depends on the game, but
thank you.
But it's on.
It's contradicted yourself. I love that.
I'm watching it. But
how much are you paying attention to it?
Right.
Hell, I'll turn it
on. If
on.
it turns into a bad game, then I'll probably turn it off.
Right. But I'm telling you, you're not.
But I'm going to tune in.
You're not going to sit here on Monday and tell, hey, what you guys doing tonight? And you're going to be like, I'm watching an Arizona Rams game tonight. You're not. That's why they put the Cowboys.
Well, actually, I am, because my friends and I will get together on Monday night and watch the games together.
Friends. Ricky and Ashley and Phil.
Well, Phil's there. Ricky's been invited.
That's 3 more friends than I got. I get all that. But you're not. But you're not going to leave here Monday like, I can't wait for tonight. Look, I understand it. But that's why the Bills and the Cowboys and the Eagles and the Chiefs, you know why they're always on? Because they win. And they're legendary franchises, and the Steelers. That's why you don't see the Saints or the Bucks or the Panthers or teams like that, because they're not really that good.
But you saw the Panthers on a couple of them when they had the number 1 overall pick. You were just completely ignoring that whole thing.
Yep.
The Titan, whether anybody likes it or not, the Tennessee Titans selected Cameron Ward number 1 overall.
Okay.
That's going to get them on prime time.
1 game.
I think more than that. I said 1.5, so I think 2.
Here's a bet. For our good friend Jim Wyatt is going to come on. We'll talk to Jim in a minute. Here's our bet. If it's 1 game, you owe me a dinner at a nice establishment, one that advertises on the station.
Okay, I'll get a gift card from somebody.
If it's more than 2, then you just got to take me to a very small establishment, like a fast food place.
Okay.
All right. So if it's 1, I get a nice dinner. If it's 2, you take me to a very small fast food place.
Okay.
All right.
Good. All right.
You got that, Dr. Crane? Mark that down.
He's just trying to get fed, basically.
That's it.
Is how it is. But
no, I would love for them to get 4 or 5, but these you don't earn it. You don't deserve it. And I hope I'm wrong.
2221. TV doesn't care if you pay attention. They care that you're on their channel.
Huh?
He's right. If they don't care if you're sitting there intently watching every play. But as long as your television is on ESPN or NBC or Prime, that's what they care about.
Okay. Sure.
Like there's not a quiz after all right, in the second quarter.
You know what? There should be. That's a damn good point.
Chargers at Arizona was the ESPN Plus exclusive last year. That's right. That's actually true.
What was it on?
ESPN Plus.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
I'm not paying ESPN Plus.
Okay.
You're crazy.
Well, you're about to. Maybe.
You tell me what to do.
John from the Borough, big NFL fan. I would not watch Arizona playing the Rams no matter what night except the Super Bowl. Benjamin, it doesn't matter the team. Millions of people bet, play fantasy football, and have the game on. Chiefs played the Bucks and Saints in prime time last year.
Because the Chiefs.
Right.
That's why.
Paul said the Titans will have no primetime games this year. Their games will only be televised on the WB, which doesn't exist anymore.
Surprised you didn't say Nickelodeon. Either way.
Matthew in Nashville. Every team is guaranteed at least one primetime game because of Thursday night. We proved that to be untrue, Matthew. The Titans did not have a Thursday night game last year. They had a Monday night game. At Miami.
That's right. That sure did.
Yep. So that's not true. Brian says, I see one game. The amount they cover Cam on the draft shows how much they care about the Titans. Oh, that's true. They'll give the Browns 6 because Shador might play.
Yeah, right.
Just to make Kuiper happy.
Yes.
We will talk to our good friend Jim Wyatt of the Tennessee Titans and TennesseeTitans.com. He'll join us next here on Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Tuesday. Rookie camp in the books. The schedule release about to happen. We bring in our good friend Jim Wyatt. TennesseeTitans.com is where you can find his work. Jimmy, I want to start with this, our hard-hitting question of the day. Is Rocky a sports movie or a love story?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask about Anita Baker playing in the background. I think Joe always noticing that, recognizing that from my past and my current too. I feel like Anita Baker. Rocky is a sports movie in my mind, and one of the best ones ever, right behind maybe the best of times with Robin Williams and Kurt Russell.
Oh, there you go. Jim Wyatt bringing it.
Nice.
So Joe says love story. So You two disagree on that.
Just watch it next time, Jimmy, from the eyes of a love story, and you'll see it completely different.
Yeah. Have you guys seen The Best of Times?
It is a fantastic movie.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Actually,
Robin
I need
Williams
to add that to my list.
keeps borrowing the car.
And Kurt Russell is the quarterback, and Robin Williams is the receiver who's going up against Dr. Death. It was a rematch of a high school game that didn't go well, and I don't want to give any more spoilers after that, even though this came out back in the late 80s, I think.
Yes.
But an underrated sports movie there.
It is.
All right, let's start with rookie Cam Ward on the field for the first time over the weekend. Jim, I got to be honest with you. Every time, and I know it was one-on-ones and a lot of teaching and stuff as Brian Callahan laid out, but every time I hear him speak, I become more and more of a fan. I love that, he did redid the rep with Io Manor because there was a bad throw and all of that. What were some of your takeaways from watching Cam for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, as far as looking forward to seeing him, I spent a little time around him leading up to him being picked, and what I've been most impressed with him by is just how mature he is, just how much he seems to love playing football and how serious he is, and being at his pro day and seeing him and seeing guys kind of rally around him kind of told me a little bit about maybe the type of leadership qualities that he has. And so he shows up out here, and obviously young guys kind of gravitate toward him, and he takes command of things early and wants things done right. And, from an athletic standpoint, from an arm strength standpoint, from ability to get the ball out standpoint, I was impressed by all that. But I just think, what was very clear from the very beginning is just he seems like he's in command and wants to be in command and is willing to work. And so it's going to be fun to see how this transpires, because this is a different, I guess, scenario we've had here where we've got two young quarterbacks now vying. It seems like they've always had a young quarterback and a veteran, around here competing. This is the first time we've had two kind of relatively young quarterbacks competing for this job. So I'm curious to see how it plays out. But Cam certainly is going to be ready to do his part and do it as a pro.
I know that, I think everybody has given the correct answer on this. And just like you said, it's a competition, and, nobody's anointing anybody just because Cam's the number 1 overall pick. But I am curious of how Will Levis approaches this, because yes, he can look at it as a competition. It may very well be he's going to have that opportunity, but I'm sure it's weighing on him that he's going up against the guy that was just selected number 1 overall. So what is kind of your take on Levis and his mindset as they come into the offseason program where the veterans join and then eventually training camp?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I don't think disappointed is the right word, because I think he probably expected what was going to happen. I still remember talking to him at the Super Bowl, and I guess that was late January. That would have been early February by that point. So I remember talking to him at the Super Bowl in New Orleans in early February, and he was pretty much acknowledging that they were going to investigate, do their homework on these quarterbacks. I don't know if he thought at that point they were going to pick them, but I think by the time we got to that point, I don't think he would have been surprised. So I think Will, who is very confident and really works his butt off. He's a nice kid. He really is. I know he arrived with a lot of question marks about his days at Kentucky and some of the stuff about the mayonnaise and the coffee, and now you got the perfume, the cologne and other stuff that have been kind of topics of conversation for fans. But aside from all that, I've always thought that Will was the guy that worked his butt off. He just hasn't had success, and he's made some bad decisions on the field. So I guess finally getting around the question, I think Will compete and take a stance that, hey, I'm not going down without a fight. And I've watched, these off-season days, the last 2 days here where they've been out there together, and Will is sprinting from one drill to the next. He looks like he's in great shape. People ask me how Cam looks, and I say he looks great, but Will looks great has really looked good too. I mean, he can get the ball from A to B in a hurry. So I think both these guys are going to compete, and then we'll see what happens when we get to the end of training camp about where the coaches feel like things are. But he's not going to mope. I don't think at all. I think he is going to take this as, hey, I'm going to treat this young guy with respect, but I'm also going to work my butt off too to make them wrestle it away from me.
Our good friend Jim White is on the show, the Chase and Big Joe show. Jim, last year I was very hard on Brian Callahan. Of course, nobody cares except for me. But he said something Saturday, Jim, that gives me hope that now I'm on board with Callahan. And it's so simple and it's so elementary, but it struck a chord with me, Jim. When he said in the press conference, yeah, all the rookies out here, we're going to a lot of things we're going to work on. We're going to work on lining up in the huddle correctly. And immediately, Jim, I was 7 years old again. And that was when I was in, a peewee, when I was in junior high, college, it was all about lining up correctly in the huddle. And I know you don't win games off lining up correctly in the huddle, but it just showed me attention to detail that I have not heard in a long time from a lot of coaches. And I loved it when he said that on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much was new to him last year. And, whether it's him doing it for the first time or having a new offensive coordinator or a new defensive coordinator, just learning how to manage time and players. And I think now things are different for him, that he's got a little bit of experience and was able to see what worked well last year, what didn't work well. And maybe there were some things, I'm sure he would tell you, there were some things that maybe didn't get addressed that should have. And, he's going to make sure it's right this year, whether that's lining up right or how they conduct their business during the off season. I know, and he has said this before, he just keeps notebooks. Last year, he just kept notebooks full of things he wrote down about the first year and things that he wanted to change, things he felt like worked well, things he felt like didn't work well. So the approach has been different, here in April and May. And I've noticed it just watching some of these, conditioning days and some of the other things that take place at the end of practice, and just how they compete and the speed that they practice with. So I do think second time around for him, he feels a lot more comfortable, and certainly he's got some more players in here that are going to do things different.
Do you think he'll be more, I'm not demonstrative, might be too strong of a word, but in his passion for explaining things? I think last year a lot of things come to him, but I see him now probably getting out ahead of things to do that, of looking more at the defense and things that maybe next year he's like, oh, let so-and-so do that now. I think that's part of growing as a coach too.
Yeah, and I don't know how demonstrative. I don't know if we'll ever see him more demonstrative than he was when he lit up Levis after that mistake, I guess, in the Jets game. But he seems like he's more. I don't know. He seems like he's more at ease now and more confident what he's doing, and just the way he addresses players. I think I've even noticed that already. He's always been a great guy to deal with from a media standpoint. Been very honest, almost probably honest, to a fault. But I think he kind of knows the way he wants things done now, and he's going to make sure that that's followed through. He's not going to let stuff slide.
Jim White is with us, TennesseeTitans.com. The schedule will be released tomorrow evening. We've seen a few things that have come out with some primetime and international games, but nothing with the Titans. I have said the over-under is 1.5. My prediction is 2 primetime games for the Titans, the Patriots, which just makes a lot of sense, and the Chiefs, both at home. What's kind of your feeling on how the NFL is going to look at this with the Titans having the number 1 overall pick in Cam Ward?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm curious myself. I haven't seen it yet. Sometimes I'll get a sneak peek. I haven't seen it yet, but I wouldn't be able to give you any kind of hints if I had. But I will say that just because I may be on the outside looking in if I did that. So I don't know. Like you would think that potentially the league would, Yeah, I get the Patriots Titans one that's intriguing, and have that game on prime time here with Vrabel coming back. I'm sure part of the league would think, oh, it'd be cool to match up, the Titans and the Browns with Cam Ward facing Shedeur Sanders. But
Yeah.
there, things like that, you don't know for sure that Cam Ward's the quarterback, and you sure don't know whether Shedeur Sanders is going to be the quarterback there. So there's some other things you just don't know if the league is willing to roll the dice on certain things. I think because it was one last year, I guess I'd take the over, thinking maybe they give you two. But I don't know. It just seems like every year people right here are disappointed that the league didn't give them more prime time opportunities, and I'm just curious to see what they think. We can't forget this team won 3 games last year. So while people in Nashville would love to see them on prime time more, rest of the league, I think, need the Titans to prove it to earn more opportunities. And maybe that comes with the flex scheduling late in the year.
Yeah, absolutely. What did it mean, Jim, for Tyler Lockett to reach out to all the rookies and say, welcome to the team? What kind of message does that send to them and also to the veterans on the team as well?
Well, he's just a classy guy. I mean, when I saw that signing, I remember I was in Green Bay. It was the night before the draft, I guess, whenever that came down the pike. And I thought, man, this is a great guy to bring in to help young players on the team at that position, but also a young quarterback. And those guys are valuable. And I look at this group now, and you certainly got Tyler Lockett and Calvin Ridley and Van Jefferson as 3 you figure will make it. But after that, it's a young group, include the 2 draft picks, and then Xavier Restrepo, undrafted guy who's trying to stick, and then a lot of other guys who are going to be fun to see how they compete and how it shakes out. I think all those guys learn from Tyler Lockett. I think in talking to Lockett for the first time, and I'm sure you guys have seen it by now, it's pretty amazing that he grew up a Titans fan in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and came here and saw the Titans play the Ravens in the playoff game during the 2008 season. And, he loved Finnegan and CJ and Kenny Britt and Keith Bullock and all those guys. So it's neat to see him back here. And, and he's going to be one of the key leaders for this team this year.
A friend of mine just texted me named Dale. Speaking about Kenny Britt, says, ask Jim what one player had the most potential that was drafted by the Titans that did not live up to what they thought he could do. They think it's Kenny Britt. Your thoughts, Jim?
Yeah, it could be Britt. I mean, I think sometimes, I still feel like Vince Young could fall into that conversation, because while he had his moments, I think he had a lot more there on what he could have done and what he could have been if he would have applied himself more. And him not reaching his potential, I think, wasn't about injury like it is guys like Brett and maybe Tyrone Calico, another guy that comes to mind, but more because I just think it was just kind of maybe more of a lack of commitment from him that could have made him better. So I think of Brett, I think of Vince Young, I think of Tyrone Calico. There are probably a lot of guys that fit into that who just didn't make it for one reason or another.
Always the what if it had worked out with those guys, for sure. It's certainly something we always think about. Jim, appreciate it as always. We look forward to reading your insight on the schedule when it's released tomorrow, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, you guys have a good week. Appreciate it.
You too. Jim Wyatt joining us. TennesseeTitans.com is where you can find his work. Jay Wyatt Sports on X as well.
He's like, usually going to leak sneak peek at the schedule. I wouldn't tell you guys anyway and all that. But I think it'll start leaking out tonight. I mean,
usually there's some that will come out.
Do you think it's important? Maybe answer after this, but that they start at home. I think it's so crucial to start at home.
All right, we'll talk about that coming up next, and then also in hour number 3, we'll get into what Adam Kaplan had to say about the Titans as well. It's Chasing Big Joe on this Tuesday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Tuesday. Having fun with you in the afternoon. Broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, or the Buzz is always about great service. We're excited this week because we'll be at the Omni on Friday. Usually they're Thursdays, but we'll be there on Friday because Thursday we're going to be outside the third base entrance at Truist Park as the Braves get ready to take on the Washington Nationals.
I love it, man.
So
And,
really looking forward to that.
yeah, I haven't been to a Major League Baseball game. Last one I saw was Braves and Cubs of July of 91.
I'm not going to tell you, but I'm working on something, and I hope it comes to fruition.
If Dale Murphy shows up,
It's not Dale Murphy.
I'll
but-
lose. If Ken Oberfeld shows up, if anybody from the terrible 80s Braves teams, the Braves teams of the 80s shows up, I'm gonna cry.
How about a player from the 90s?
Okay.
Okay.
It can't be David Justice because he's the one that took Dale
No,
Murphy's spot.
It's not. Just trust me. I'm working on it. Just trust me.
If you could get Paul Ossenmacher to show up, Plaster will pay double.
Yeah.
I love it. You're like, hold on a second, Paul Ossenmacher.
That's going way back.
It is because they were terrible, but I
Yeah.
watched every game on TBS.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so did a lot of people. That's why they became America's team.
That's right. What question I had before the break?
It was about what was it about, Dr.
It was about starting at home. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Thank you. Because we both forgot.
I had
clearly.
a great return, but I don't think it's appropriate.
What,
You don't.
well,
you don't
tell me
say
during
that.
the break.
That's from
and
Joe
I'll-
Dirt. I think you can put the puzzle pieces.
Oh,
together.
yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be-
No. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking
That'd have been
about.
hilarious, though.
I'm so out of this. I don't know.
It's I'll
He
tell
goes
you later.
Back to Baton Rouge, you know.
Yeah, Baton Rouge. It's the guy can't speak clearly.
He's in Waterboy.
Home is where you make it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So the question was, it's crucial they start at home.
I think so. I think for a look, I mean, and we're right now it is a quarterback competition. We all know Cam Ward's going to start.
Right.
All right. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. So Cam Ward starts, barring an injury.
Yep.
I think you want to start him at home. So yes, I do think start. I think it'll be a noon kick on CBS with not Nance and Romo, but probably maybe the B team because it's Cam Ward.
God, you were all on
Coming-
this Cam Ward
Because
thing.
I pay attention. Like I think
Jimmy just told you nobody cares outside of Nashville.
okay, maybe the C team, the B or the C team
Right.
on CBS.
So let me ask you this: what off the field? What's a quarterback's greatest thing?
Off the field?
Yep. On the field, he's got his tight end. He's got all that. Off the
Being
field,
at home,
confidence.
confidence. Okay,
Right. So you start that game at home. You get 70,000 people over there at Nissan. Field,
excited.
and they win the game. They win that opening game at home. I'm telling you, they might make the playoffs. It's got
I'm
to
gonna
beat the three other
say-
teams.
I've locked this in.
Okay.
Noon kick, week 1, Nissan Stadium, the Tennessee Titans, and the Seattle Seahawks.
You've got a leak somewhere. Somebody's told you this.
No.
Oh, come on. Yeah. All right.
That rumor was out there. Yes.
Let Seattle
There was
travel
a rumor-
cross
there was a
country.
rumor out. Sam Darnold, first game with the Seahawks.
Lockett's revenge game.
Lockett's revenge game. Cam Ward's first start. Titans versus Seahawks.
I like that. I do like that.
Yes, that was a rumor that's out there, but it was just a rumor. I don't know if it's a leak.
I would love first home game, Titans Colts.
That could be good.
Colts are a disaster. Beat them out of the gate. You're 1-0. That's a win within the division. You're feeling good.
Do
After
they do
that,
a lot of division games week 1?
no, but why not? I know the
Could be
last 2 weeks of the season they do that, but
yeah,
start and beat them.
could be good. Depends on who. Let's see. 9306 says depends on who gets the week 1 doubleheader because I think they got rid of both CBS and Fox having a week 1 doubleheader. I'm going B team if a doubleheader, A team if a single header.
Okay.
So you're saying Nance and Romo. Okay. Larry wants to weigh in. Hello, Larry.
They're probably going to have us playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, Travis Hunter versus Cameron Ward.
That's actually
Good one.
that's not a bad call, Larry. Thanks for the call. That's
Larry.
that. I mean, do you do that right out of the gate?
Absolutely. At home? Heck yeah, man. And
Well, it
beat
doesn't have to. It
Jacksonville?
doesn't have to be at home.
I want it home.
It could be in
I
Jacksonville.
know, but I want a home game. Cam Ward, or who deserves the home
On
game?
your premise,
Mhm.
who deserves a home game more? I'd probably say Jacksonville.
Why? Titans got the number one pick.
They were better. Yeah, but to your point about people not caring about the Titans, more people care about Travis Hunter than they do the Titans overall.
Okay. But I still want that home game. But it could be the Jags.
That's not a terrible
1 versus
thought.
2.
They've done that before. Jameis and it was in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can I change? I'm changing.
Go ahead.
I'm changing my prediction
Okay.
because Larry's call has convinced me. Titans at Jacksonville week 1.
Do you work for the Titans?
Noon on CBS. Jim White does.
I work for the Titans. I say Jacksonville at Tennessee.
Okay.
Benefit of the doubt for the number one pick. You got the number one guy, so you get the home game.
All right. So now I'm going back to my longtime prediction. I should just write out a schedule and see how close I am. Week 1 at Jacksonville, CBS. Week 2, Titans home opener Thursday night against Vrabel and the Patriots.
Okay. I want you to write out the 17. It'd be like Willie when he does the brackets and nobody cares. So I want you to do the 17 game
All right.
thing.
Donovan and Franklin, when was the last time the Titans opened the season against a division rival? That's
I don't remember.
I can look that up. Hang on. I can probably come up with that relatively fast. Let's see. Last year they opened at Chicago, as we know.
New Orleans year before that.
Yep. 2022.
Cardinals here in 21.
22 was Giants here. 21 was Cardinals here. 20 was at Denver on Monday night. 19 at Cleveland. 18 at Miami.
Longest game ever.
17 Oakland here. 16 they've done a lot of division games in week 2. Vikings here. 15 at Tampa. That was Mariota's rookie year. 14 Kansas City. 13
Steelers.
You're good. 12
I don't remember.
New England here. 11 so it's been at Jacksonville.
Okay. So it could happen again. But you got
2011, the last time that they opened against a division rival.
I like it. 1 versus 2. I just want the game here.
I'm good with either, but I like that. I think Larry good call.
Job, Larry.
There you go. Coming up next, we will talk about what Adam Kaplan had to say about the Titans on Robbie and Rex Road this morning. He will join us here in hour number 3 of the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 3, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game on this Tuesday. Yes, a little bit later, you're like, wait a minute, where's Jared? He is on vacation, and it will be Jake Lyman and Derek Mason coming up at 3 o'clock, going 3 to 6. So we're keeping things going here on this Tuesday, and Jared will be back in the saddle on Friday. But I'm excited for the rest of the week. We'll be back in our normal slot with an extra hour, 9 to noon. DVD will go noon to 3, and tomorrow afternoon, because I just love chaos, and I know you do too, I'm letting Rex Road and Koharski take over Jared's show. So that should be a lot of fun. So
is that 3 hours or 4?
3 to 6.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 hours. So that will be a lot of fun. But earlier today on Robbie and Rex Road, Adam Kaplan, who's a longtime NFL insider, SiriusXM, has covered the league, was on with them. And I thought there was a lot of stuff they covered with Cam Ward and all of that I thought this question really stood out to me and pay attention to what he said about Amy being patient when it comes to this rebuild.
Do you believe that she's going to have enough patience to go through the necessary process here of building this roster?
All right, so there's a lot to unpack here, okay? I know where I was when Robinson was let go. I was shocked because, as you know, she extended his contract, I believe, in February of that year and then fired him in October.
Yep.
That's unheard of. This is my 27th year of covering the NFL. I've had a lot of crazy text messages. I got a lot of, like, what are they doing in Tennessee, for personnel people who are shocked by it. So that goes to your point. She's very unpredictable, but I'll say this much. You can't say that she's not willing to pay personnel executives. Let me just explain kind of what's happening here. So you know about Chad Brinker and his promotion of president of football operations. He's an overseer. Mike Bergonzi won 3 Super Bowls with the Chiefs. He's the general manager. Dave Ziegler he's their assistant GM, won 3 rings with the Patriots. Dan Saganu, the VP of Player Personnel, who's, by the way, really talented. I know that he didn't win a lot there, but from what I'm told, he's really good. Reggie McKenzie, who I mentioned, who's the football advisor, right? Former Raiders GM, won a Super Bowl as a personnel executive with the Packers. Scott Cohen, who is John Harbaugh's right-hand man for 9 seasons with the Ravens. He's the director of strategy now for the Titans, who won a lot with the Eagles and Ravens. So here's the thing, guys. They got a lot of guys who've won before. If these guys could get along and they're allowed to do their job without interference from the owner, there's a chance this thing gets turned around a lot faster than maybe I thought or you guys thought. And by the way, not that they're going to make the playoffs this year, but you saw what happened with the Commanders last season. You get an elite quarterback. No one saw it coming what the Commanders did last season. Let's be honest about it.
Okay. So, as he said to start that, there is a lot to unpack there. Number one, I don't think this team, he's not what the Commanders got, and this isn't the Commanders. I think he's right in saying not that he thinks they're going to make the playoffs. But I do find it interesting with all the people that have been put in the front office, and there's a lot, and sometimes you can have too many cooks in the kitchen, but these guys have done a lot of winning in their previous stops. He said it. If they can all get along and be on the same page, this thing could turn around a lot quicker than anybody thinks that it could. I think that's a big if, because I've just seen things over the last few years with this organization where they can't stay out of their own way. And that's what worries me. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what worries me.
First off, let's don't credit Borgonzi for winning 3 Super Bowls. He didn't really have anything to do with it. You can be on the staff, you can be on the team. I'm not going to
say he didn't have anything to do with it.
Come on, man.
Okay, then why do you have assistant GMs?
All right, what do you think he did?
Why do you what? No, what? Why?
He's part of the organization. Won 3 Super Bowls.
He was part of.
But don't say it like he had something to do with it.
But he did. He was a part of the front office that put that team together.
Okay.
If you're saying they don't have anything to do with it, then why do you have them?
Exactly. So, you might put a little input here and there, but he's not responsible for them winning 3 Super Bowls. I mean, he wasn't the guy. He's on the front office.
Well, Andy Reid is the main catalyst.
Right? So it's not like when I think of the Chiefs Super Bowl, I'm like, oh, Bergonzi's part of it. No, I mean, you front office, that's fine. You do all that. I get that. She's not going to stay out of the way. She's her father's daughter. It's not going to happen. Yes, these guys they're on these front office. They're winners. I get all that. But it's about the now. This football team goes 3-14. Callahan ain't coming back. It should probably fire somebody else too. It's about winning. When's the last time a front office won a football game? Tell me. I'd like to know. When's the last time a front office won a football game? I'll look it up for you. Never done that. Look, we said
You have to put the right pieces on the field, though.
right. Okay, yeah,
And
but
it
you gotta-
takes
exactly.
it takes that front office
I'm
to put the right
100%
pieces
behind you.
together.
And we don't sit here and say, you're the Titans and look. I'd like them to go 14-3 and go to the Super Bowl. I'd like to go to the Super Bowl. I think it'd be great. I saw what happened to the city in 99 and 2000 and 02 and 2019 when this team gets to the playoffs and does things. I've seen it in 2021 when they're the talk of the league. It's great. It's great. How soon can they get back there? I think it's going to be a while. But they're starting the process. They're a lot better off on May 13th than they were April 13th. I'll give them that.
And they're a lot better off on May 13th, 2025 than they were on May 13th, 2024.
Absolutely.
I mean, I and look, I think they have better people in charge. Chad Brinker is still going to have to earn some things with me, and I think with everybody, not just with me, but I think he knows that. I don't think he's hiding from that.
Right.
And so there's that. I like Borgonzi. He seems like a football guy. He seems like a general manager. He seems like somebody that knows what he's doing. And then, as Adam said, they've brought in these other guys that have won in the past. If that all can come together, what I think needs to happen, whether it does or not, what needs to happen is they need to have this turnaround in 2 years. Whether they can do that or not, time will tell. To your point, if they have a miracle season this year and they go 14-3 and are in the not even in the Super Bowl, but make a run.
Yeah.
So get to the divisional round. If they did that this year, I'd throw the parade on Broadway.
Would you?
Yeah. I think everybody would be excited about that because it's unexpected.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Because, and what would be even more ironic is we had the hockey team where we expected them to make the playoffs and they didn't. And then we had the football team where we didn't expect them to make the playoffs and they do.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
So with the team they put on the field, are all 11 offensive starters already penciled in?
That's a great question.
Yes.
I would say yes. Yeah. I mean, well, you may have a question at center. Is Cushenberry going to be available?
But if he's healthy, he's
right.
in.
Right.
Okay.
I think you got the rest of the line figured out.
That's 5.
I think tight end is still a question mark.
Okay.
I don't think tight end's decided. And I don't think all the wide receivers, like Ridley's going to start, but I mean, Lockett to me is not a number 2. He's really a number 3. So who's the number 2?
I think Van Jefferson. But say they go.
I don't like that.
Say they go the 3 wide, 1 back, and 1 tight end. So they have Ridley, I think Lockett, and I think Van Jefferson right now. I mean, that's their guys. Paul in the backfield. That's 5, 6. Am I leaving out a tight end? An extra tight end?
Well, yeah. I mean, if it depends, are you going to have 2 tight ends or an H-back or?
Then it is. I think, John McClain was singing his praises last week. Gunnar Helm.
I think Gunnar Helm. Yeah. I mean, I think what they hope is going to happen is Gunnar Helm becomes the starting tight end.
Yep. As well. Now, defense, you got me lost there. Who are the linebackers?
Yeah. I mean, the front, you got Simmons,
Sweat.
The Sweat at nose.
You got the UCLA guy's got to go. He's got to start game 1. I can't pronounce his name.
Oladejo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of Arden Key probably is the other one.
Who's terrible, but yeah.
See, he's not terrible, but he's not elite. And he's not great.
He likes to run
he's
his
okay.
mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are the linebackers?
Inside?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Because they
Connor
one
Newt,
off.
Dr. Crane, and David Jenkins.
Jake Wallman getting that linebacker position.
I had a career high 8 tackles, baby. We're good. I'm ready.
They shipped Kenneth Murray off to Dallas, right? So that's why I wanted to draft the guy from South Carolina.
Well,
Demetrius Knight.
Well, here's the other one that we haven't mentioned. Is Cedric Gray going to be a factor at all? They drafted him last year. He was basically hurt. Second year out of North Carolina. I think they need Cedric Gray to be something.
We spent a lot of time hyping him up, and he did nothing.
They brought in, Otis Reese has been around.
Sitting on the dock of the bench.
Right. That was good.
Thank you. I'm here till 3.
They brought up Cody Barton, brought him in. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then corner. I mean, I don't think corner is completely decided either. I mean, you got Baker and Brownlee, the law office there, and then
Ladarius Sneed.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen there? Gabe Judy Lally out of the University of Tennessee.
love
They
that
brought
guy.
back him. I just like saying his name. Roger McCreary. So
How many times has a coach said to Gabe Judy Lally, "Stop lollygagging"?
I don't know.
I would do it all the time.
Why don't you find out?
I'm on it right now, man.
What goes on up there, Joe?
Not a whole
I've been
lot.
asking myself that for
Not a whole
13
lot.
years.
I'm happy though.
Yeah.
all
That's
that
good to
matters.
know.
I'm
That's
happy in
good.
a little world.
615-737-1025. That's our phone. And text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Skylar says, Arden Key effing sucks. Except he didn't say effing.
Hey, will you explain the ESPN app? Because I keep looking at it. Is there something to the next break? Are we going to talk about that?
Yeah. We can do that.
Okay.
ESPN's made an announcement. I'm very intrigued.
Okay,
by
I
it.
like this.
I'm
All right.
intrigued. We will do that. Coming up next, it's Chase and Big Joe on this Tuesday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Knoxville's own, or right outside of Knoxville, I guess.
Give him Knoxville. That's all right.
Kenny Chesney, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5-106.3 The Game on this Tuesday, 615-737-1025. I'm definitely looking through trying to find schedule leaks now.
I keep refreshing. You know who?
Adam Schefter?
No, the Unathletic. Rick Merritt.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that report about that he had that the Titans are gonna they're gonna play both at Nissan Stadium
and on the
then
road.
On the road this year. That was.
I mean, right? I mean, where are you going to get that other kind of information? I mean,
and 17 games.
17 games.
Yeah.
Either 8 or 9 at home or the way.
Right.
I mean, it's like that's why I follow the guy. I mean, he's one of the best.
Yeah. I mean, the NFL. He also did this great breakdown on that. All 32 teams play 17 games.
Crazy, right? By the way, you two did a great job calling steeplechase on Saturday.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Really good.
Really was cheering for those horses.
Drink water. That was the
Drink
one that
water.
came through. Proud of you guys are great.
Butter squash.
Yes.
Let's go to Grant. He wants to talk linebackers. Grant, what's up?
Hey, I just thought I'd ask you, do you think the Titans will sign one of the free agent linebackers still left out there like C.J. Mosley, or you think that David Jabenta from University of Texas has a shot at making the 53-man roster?
By the way, Grant, love your voice, man. You ever do radio?
No, but there's always an option,
Not here, but thanks.
Thanks a lot, guys. This is the last time I call in.
Get out of here,
Just
Grant.
kidding. Thanks, Grant. Appreciate it.
Love the voice.
I don't know. I mean, there are some free agent options out there, especially pass rushers. I mean, maybe I could see some of those guys if when camp opens up, if they're still there, then yeah, maybe.
That's why I wanted the guy from South Carolina. I think it was Demetrius Knight.
Yeah,
I mean, the
I liked
guy,
him too.
Just a headhunter. But look, if Borgonzi and these guys are as good as they claim to be, they'll find a linebacker. But I think C.J. Mosley might be not like he.
Yeah,
used to
isn't like Preston Smith or Zadarius Smith? Like, aren't they still out there? And I mean, they're
could be. Yep.
They're past their prime. I mean, it has to be like, for me, and I do like this strategy. The Titans have said that they want to build through the draft, and with young guys, they've brought in the undrafted guys too, which you don't expect much from, except for maybe Restrepo. But roll with that. See what you got in the young guys.
We had this debate one day about who was the Titans' best middle linebacker since they've been here. I mean, Randall Godfrey got a lot of good votes, but was there one?
What did you consider Bullock?
Outside.
You consider him more outside than
I mean, a
3-4,
true
but he
inside.
wasn't like
he was all over the place.
Yeah.
God, he was so good.
A
true inside linebacker.
Stephen Tulloch.
Tulloch is pretty good.
Yeah.
Wanted to fight me, but he's pretty good. Who else? Am we missing somebody? I mean, who was the line? Rashaan Evans was terrible. Who was the linebacker in 19, 20, and 21, the middle linebacker?
Jake and I are back here saying Wesley Woodyard.
He was good, but I think he was like more known for his special teams.
Wasn't bad. He had that awful penalty.
Avery Williamson wasn't terrible.
And he got the big contract with the Jets.
Yeah.
Woodyard had the penalty against the Jags, the boneheaded penalty that cost him the game, which was terrible. In 18, I think it was. But it was, I mean, he was serviceable. That's a good one. But like a true elite inside linebacker that the Tennessee Titans have had, and I cannot remember. Hell, I've covered the teams that showed up here, and I can't remember one.
Was Al Smith an inside linebacker back in the day?
He was.
Yeah,
good.
The Oilers.
Al Smith was damn good.
I don't know, man. That's a really good.
Joe Bowden was good, or that's Oilers team when they showed up here. But I'm trying to think who was inside linebacker who just knocked your head off, and I can't think of one. Why is this so hard? I mean, Rocky Boyman was okay.
Yeah. I mean, but see, Keith kind of falls in because he was just kind of everywhere.
Right.
I mean, he's just listed, I guess, as linebacker.
Yeah,
but I mean, he played kind of both. I guess he was more the right side. But that was also the 3-4 or the 4-3.
I'm leaving somebody out there. I don't know. But all right, so explain the ESPN app, please.
Yes. So
Thank you.
ESPN made this announcement today, and of course I closed it. But basically, they're going to have a new direct to consumer app that is going to take all of their networks, all of the ESPN Plus streaming stuff, and put it all in one place on this new ESPN app. And it's a subscription that you can play. You can pay $30 a month or $300 a year and get everything. And so you don't need cable anymore. You can just watch it all through your app. And, it's kind of the direction that a lot of these networks are going. It's part of the cord cutting thing. I think this is going to be a game changer because, like, for me, one of the reasons that I've, still kept some sort of cable is mainly so I can watch, all these college football games and hockey games and, baseball and NFL, and with ESPN, doing that, I'd have to put a pencil to it. But I think with some of the other apps I have, it might make sense that I'd be able to cut it all. To cut the cable, I mean.
Can you use that subscription, the app, to go to your TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like,
Then
you'd have to have a smart TV, but yeah.
Okay. We don't have a smart owner.
I can help you.
But no, I like that. Give me 30. I'm all about college football, all about that. And if they're going to give me all that, I'm on it, man.
ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitero said, quote, "We are providing everything ESPN has to offer directly to our fans and all in one place. As we thought about the name, we kept returning to the fact that across every generation, ESPN is the most trusted, loved, and recognized name in sports, and that we should keep it simple and double down on the power of ESPN. Our straightforward approach to name and pricing will help fans cut through the clutter and provide them compelling options to access all of our content within the enhanced ESPN app. It will be the ultimate sports destination for personalized experiences and features. And on top of that, they'll be able to choose to bundle ESPN with the industry-leading Disney Plus and Hulu streaming services." So, like, there's an ESPN, there's a Disney bundle now that's Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. You can also get that with this new ESPN app.
Okay, I'm all board.
I'm with it.
$30. Give me
30 a month. You cut cable.
Do I get your ESPN Plus too?
Yes.
I'm on it. That way I can watch.
You can watch the SEC network, the ACC network, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPN 8. I mean,
Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
They're on ESPN Plus all the time.
You can watch them.
Yeah.
I mean, you got it all.
I love it.
So, I mean, I think, and this is where the world's been going this direction.
Mm-hmm.
But so now you got to, so like, let's say you want to watch the NFL. All right. And you want to watch every NFL game that is offered. You'll have to get this app if you don't have cable. You'll need Peacock for NBC, Amazon, Netflix, maybe NFL Plus for the NFL Network, Paramount Plus, whatever Fox has.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it might work its way back to being the same price, but I still think a lot of people are going to do it.
Pony up, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's just where it's a la carte. By the way, David Thornton gets a vote. Peter Sermon
wasn't bad. There has not been a true outstanding middle linebacker for the Tennessee Titans. One that's been recognized as all-pro. One that's just been amazing, like you talk. Because if it's taking this long to come up with one, then no.
Andrew from Dover said Titans could always call the freak. He looked like he had some games left in him. He does look good.
Does he not?
He looks really good. He's thin.
That dude.
Brian Arakpo, wasn't he more outside though?
He was.
Yeah. David Long Jr. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't like
soft
elite, according to
probably
people.
Not.
Don't. Mike goes, here's a guy from South Carolina who's available, Jadeveon Clowney. We've tried that before. It didn't work.
Yeah, we're good on that. But no, middle linebacker, I don't know with all that. Now, we have a board in the studio that we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So the last part of that board, I'm interested in.
The last one?
Because it's a huge conspiracy.
Okay. There was a conversation that I heard on DVD earlier today that I found fascinating, talking about the draft lottery, because Preds fans are still irritated by it. And it happened again last night.
Yes.
And there's a huge conspiracy with it. We will discuss that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Tuesday. Little Otis Redding for you. Of course, we referenced this earlier.
Right.
The NBA draft lottery was last night, and the Dallas Mavericks get the number 1 overall pick, and everybody's calling conspiracy because it was a big jump for them. They had traded Luka to the Lakers, and so I've read, it's this, the NBA orchestrated that trade and then said, hey, we'll hook you up with Cooper Flagg and the number 1 overall pick and all that stuff. You love a good conspiracy theory, don't you?
Well, I'm old school, so it goes back to Pat Ewing and the New York Knicks in 1985 when same thing. The Knicks were terrible, and they got Pat Ewing in the lottery, shouldn't have got him, and then boom, that turned that franchise around. So I love all this. Yeah, I think it's
and
great.
then in the NHL draft lottery, the Predators, of course, had a top 3 pick. They moved back to 5. The New York Islanders take the number 1 overall pick, moving up 10 spots to get that. And so the question is, and I heard Willie and Adam talking about this earlier today, is there a better system than the current systems in the NBA and MLB and the NHL with the draft lottery? Is it better to just go to the NFL system where the worst team gets the number 1 overall pick?
Yes.
You think do that?
It's easier. You earned it. Now, was the point of the draft lottery to make sure teams do not tank?
Yes, it's to help prevent that, but also at the same time, you have if you are the worst team, you have a better chance of winning the lottery. But it also is to create, more competition and what's the word they always like to use? Parity. Yeah, create parity. So I mean, with covering the Predators and doing that show, I was like, I hate this system because the Preds got screwed.
Yeah.
If they got the number 1 overall pick, I'd have been like, I love this system. It's great.
Well done.
If the NFL had a draft lottery, I mean, the chances are the Titans don't get the number 1 overall pick.
Right. You're right.
So it could have been something different. So I heard Adam reference something known as the Gold Plan, which is something that the Professional Women's Hockey League, the PWHL, has adopted. And the Gold Plan was proposed in the late 2000s by statistician Adam Gold. And it's basically known as draft order of selection by mathematical elimination.
Huh? I'm already out.
All right. No, I think you'll like it. So basically what it is a team is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. So let's say the Predators, when they found out they were eliminated from the playoffs, they still get points, right?
Yeah.
In the standings. And in the NHL, it's 2 points for a win, 1 point for an overtime loss, no points for a loss.
Okay.
All right. So once a team is mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, it begins earning draft order points in all subsequent games, including all regular season games that begin following a team's elimination. Using the standard point system that the league uses, that in this case awards 3 points for a win, 2 points for an overtime loss, 1 point for an overtime or shootout loss, and 0 points for a regulation loss. The team with the most draft order points at the conclusion of the regular season will earn the first selection in each round of the draft. The non-playoff team with the fewest draft order points will select second in each round of the draft.
Not bad.
So I'm intrigued by that. If they went to some sort of system like that where there's still incentive to play, there's not an incentive to tank. I mean, you get rid of tanking like that if you do something like that, where it's like, okay, you want to go out and win these games because if you have the most points, and like you think about it, the Preds go on some sort of run, which they kind of did, for a minute there, then they could accumulate more points and then they get the number 1 pick.
All right. I can see that.
I think that fixes a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. So you accumulate the points, keep winning. Yeah. All right.
I mean, I don't think it's not perfect by any means because, again, what if you go on a run?
Well, not like all 7 teams get eliminated at the same time.
No, right. So for instance, and Adam and Willie pointed this out. I think Chicago was eliminated like 2 weeks before the Predators were. So at that point, they start accumulating these points. then the Preds get eliminated. Well, they got to catch up. But, Chicago could then lose 6 in a row and the Preds win 6 in a row and
Okay.
obviously would catch some points. So I think I would definitely study it if I'm, especially the NHL, because it could create some interesting competition. And if you're a team like the Predators and you're a fan of the Predators, where it's like, hey, you've been done 2 months before the season ends, at least you get something intriguing to watch and play for.
I could be on board with that. It's a lot of watching these games that you don't want to watch to see if they've gotten the points. So yeah, anything that keeps you interested in it, I think is a good thing.
Justin in Greenbrier says, down with the lottery. It's the worst possible way to decide draft order. The Preds had a season where they were fighting hard the whole way through, only to come up short. At minimum, they should have gotten the 3rd pick. Instead, you have a stupid ping pong ball screw you out of 2 draft spots. I would agree with that.
Okay.
Kevin says, you can't tell me the NBA draft ain't rigged. Every big organization has behind-the-scenes stuff going on. The NFL, the NBA, MLB, NHL, ain't no different. Money talks. Kevin in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte Hornets aren't getting that pick. They're not.
No. Ron says, I think they should do the lottery every year before the season starts so that every team already knows what number they will be picking in the draft regardless of the record, and then you can start wheeling and dealing your position and draft all year.
What?
I don't know how you figure that out.
I don't know either.
Are you just saying randomly throw every team into and draw? Just do
Yeah,
it by a draw?
right.
Okay, would you hate that?
No, I do hate that. Let the season play out.
I mean, then it's kind of like I
watch the Chiefs get the number 1 pick. I was like,
right,
no.
Yeah. I just don't like leaving a lot of things to chance.
No, I think it's a way. I'm not a fan of it at all. And obviously nobody else is either.
Neely says, I like the system in soccer over in Europe where the last place team gets bumped to the minor leagues. If in the first place minor league team gets bumped to the pros. What do they call that? Regulation? Relegation?
Relegation.
Yes,
relegation. And promotion.
Talking Calcio.
You got that right, Joe. I'll send it to you when it's out.
When does the new one drop?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a press conference that's already happened today. So
cool. And where can I get that?
At the Game Nashville Sports Network podcast.
Love it.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job with it.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Lauren says, to discourage tanking and eliminate the lottery, you can change the system to make your draft position for the upcoming draft based on the results of another team that you were paired with at the beginning of the year. The pairing is based on the final standings from the previous year. Huh?
Exactly. Hey. Yeah.
To make your drafts. You lost me on that one.
I don't get it either.
But look, I think we can all agree that the system probably needs some tweaking.
Yes.
Especially when you have, but I mean, the way the system is doing what it's supposed to do, the way it is currently set up.
So 3 teams had a 14% chance last night, and the Mavericks had 1.8%.
And they got it. So you basically had that in both the NHL and the NBA.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan at all.
Sure. Well, there you go. Coming up next, we'll tell you what day it is and celebrity birthdays. It is Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, here on this Tuesday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Nashville's best deal of the week is Bavarian Beer House, conveniently located at Opry Mills Mall. Enjoy beer, food, music, and fun at Nashville's only authentic German beer hall, where it's Oktoberfest every day. Head to theGameNashville.com/deals to get a $50 gift card for only $25 to Bavarian Beer House while supplies last. Chase and Big Joe, again, we're back at our normal time. It's starting at 9 tomorrow, but we'll go to noon. DVD will follow with Willie and D-Mace from noon until 3. Before that, Adam joins Robbie on his show, and then Rex Road and Kuharski will do 3 to 6 tomorrow afternoon. So looking forward to that. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. It is brought to you by Jarrett Companies, Inc., above and beyond industry standards, wide-ranging fire protection, sprinkler systems, extinguishers, kitchen hood suppression. Just visit them at jarrettcompaniesinc.com.
All right, gentlemen. First on the list, we have cough drop day. So if your throat's feeling a little scratchy, grab one of them.
Probably need a couple of those, yeah.
Frog jumping day.
Nice.
You could look at it as like parkouring in a roundabout way.
Is it still true if a frog pees on you, it gives you a wart?
Never heard of that.
Okay.
Joe.
Never heard of that either.
I was told that. Is it old wives' tale?
I think if a jellyfish pees on you, the sting goes away.
Hey, he's from Antioch.
Oh.
Jellyfish.
How
Yep.
about that?
He's on tour with Post Malone right now.
No, good to know.
Jelly roll.
Jelly roll.
I
Same
wonder
guy.
if he likes eating hummus because today is International Day of Hummus.
Probably not.
I mean, you never know. He probably has some people that, follow him along. We call groupies. Wonder if a leprechaun follows him. It's Leprechaun Day. How about that?
Hey, how about that leprechaun?
What about groupies?
I'm just saying they could be like leprechauns. They
We-
just appear everywhere.
We have a groupie. His name's Gator Mike.
He does.
And Clay.
And Clay.
And Clay.
We need better groupies.
Next one is National Apple Pie Day.
Some
Delicious.
apple pie.
National Fruit Cocktail Day, Joe. How about that?
What do you look at me for that?
Well, because
I
you're
don't make fruit cocktails.
no, but you were a bartender back in the day.
I know fruits and cocktails, but I don't know a fruit cocktail.
I like the movie Cocktail.
Right.
It's
By
good.
the way, that movie Cocktail, the twins in that movie would be 37 years old. That's you.
They're my age?
That's you.
Wow.
You're the cocktail twin.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. That's your age. All right. Sorry.
Don't tell my secret.
All right. Next, we have Sex Differences and Health Awareness Day.
Excuse me. 6.
No. The Sex Differences in Health Awareness Day for like the actual female and male, all that.
May I remind you, family show.
It is the scientific name. I'm just going by that.
Okay.
Top
you.
Gun Day is today. So there's,
Talk to me, Goose.
yep. Tulip Day. How about that? There are a lot of flower days this week. I don't know what that about, but
How about that?
I'm just saying.
about them tulips? Ain't she something?
And
that Phyllis Diller? Ain't she something?
last one on the list is World Cocktail Day. So,
God,
That
you're
was
ready
on
to go
there twice.
drinking, aren't you?
I mean, today is Connor Newt's 21st birthday.
I was just
so-
about to say, the speaker, Mr. Speaker, he is truly of age today. Happy birthday to Connor Newton.
Legal Eagle. O'Doul's on me tonight, buddy. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Our first birthday, he was the wolf in Pulp Fiction, actor Harvey Keitel.
Oh, 79.
70.
86.
Wow. Okay.
Stevie Wonder, the great, talented Stevie Wonder.
76.
80.
75. Chaser on the board. Next up is, hate this guy, Stephen Colbert. Today's his birthday.
Oh, what unfunny thing does he have to say today?
Awful.
52.
50.
61. On down the list here. Who is this?
He ruined that show.
He's terrible. He's not funny at all. Singer Darius Rucker has Dr. Crane refers to him as Hootie,
Which he doesn't like.
which he does not like. He will fight you.
Jared, didn't we just have his birthday?
No, it was the Blowfish, I think, it was their birthday. No, we talked about this.
I know we do.
Oh,
I just love you. I just
Oh,
Darius Rucker 62.
65.
59.
Just missed it.
Lena Dunham from the TV show Girls on HBO. It's very popular at one time. I'm gathering here.
42.
44.
39. the actor that played the vampire in Twilight, Robert Pattinson, and was in that awful Batman movie a few years ago.
Actually, I thought it was pretty good.
Awful. Let's get that debate.
39.
41.
He's 39. Chase your nose is awful actors and awful movies. Going down here. See what else we got here. Chase is up 3-0, by the way. Actress Zoe Wanamaker. She was in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Is that the first one?
You asking the wrong guy.
Is that the first one?
I
think
believe
it's the
so,
first
yeah.
one. What does she do?
Actress Zoe Wanamaker, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
64. I don't know. I don't even know.
38.
77.
Okay, well.
Going on a few more here. You guys doing okay today? Good. Good to see you. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to find birthdays that are relevant. Bass player Mickey Madden of Maroon 5.
42.
44.
46. Dr. Crane's on the board. All right. It is now 3-1. Here we go. Sports birthdays. Dennis Rodman.
63.
65.
64. It's a push. It's a push.
I had a feeling.
Sean McDonough. No kin to H.I. McDonough.
Sean McDonough, like the commentator?
Yes, sir.
51.
56.
63.
Wow.
Chris Washburn, basketball player, NC State, one of the highest recruited players of all time. Chris Washburn. If you know about basketball and college basketball, you know Chris Washburn.
Chris Washburn. I don't know. 47.
55.
60. Nashville guy now, Barry Zito.
47.
53.
47 exactly. Chase up 5-1. Then the last two. Mike Bibby led Arizona to a national championship back in the day.
Coach now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the team that Shaq's the GM for, I think. Sacramento State or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. 53.
46.
47. Dr. Crane, you were in striking range, but no more. And finally, our final birthday, the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
38.
34.
33. Dr. Crane, the comeback loses 5-3.
Well, still, it was a valiant effort.
It was, man.
Thank you very much.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for hanging out and participating. Of course, we are back at it tomorrow at 9 here on these airwaves.
We are. As we leave our show all the time, the message that's whether we're on at 6, 9, noon, or 3, it's our message to our guys out there. If you are struggling and going through anything, any kind of problem, please reach out, talk to somebody. You'll feel so much better. If you have the way to talk to, you can call us. We're always here for you, or on your phone. You can call or text 988. Somebody is always there to talk to you. And I tell you, every day, our world is a better place because you are here. Know that. And if something happened to you, be tremendously missed. That's why we tell you every time that you are tremendously loved. Remember this. We love you. More importantly, more than anything else in this world, God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. Jake Lyman and D-Mace coming up next here on 102.5, 106.3, The Game.